Now, yesterday, the shares of Sofi Technologies went up by almost 11%. And now this came after we read a wonderful news of saying that it appears that insiders of Sofi have been seriously buying the Sofi Technology stock. I mean, we read, or on that article, we read that these shares were around over $871,000 and these shares were around 97,640. Now, this or to date or after that transaction in the Q4, Sofi insiders owned over 35% of the entire Sofi Technologies. Now, this is good news to investors, or this brings some good news to the retail investors, because this just simply means that the fact that we are seeing insiders buying Sofi Technologies, it simply means that they believe in the company, they believe in its future prospects, and they are, or chances are, there is a lot that is still yet to come out of Sofi Technologies, which is something that I believe it has to motivate investors or investors like you and me to probably load the boat onto this Sofi Technology stock, because like I always say, when you see insiders buying that stock, it is always taken as a very good signal. And you'll remember that just early this month of March, we saw also the CEO of Sofi buying over 15,000 shares of his own stock. So he bought 15,000 shares or over 15,000 shares of Sofi Technologies, which is something that is truly amazing and adds to this to say that it simply means that there is a lot more good things that we can expect out of Sofi, which is why the insiders are buying these Sofi Technologies. Now, this is one of the main reasons why we saw the shares of Sofi Technologies trading almost at 11%. So I believe that you go out there, you also probably go and look deeper into this and see if you can't also add more or load the boat on this Sofi Technologies stock, because after reading that, I am going to definitely load more also onto Sofi Technology stock, because with insiders buying, it always, or it is taken as a very good sign to say that the more good news are still ahead. Otherwise, on other news, we read that Sofi Technologies, or with other private lending companies, are on top of the government trying to make sure that student loan refinancing payments or monthly payments resumes. As you would know by now that it has been almost 3 years since the government had halted the student loan repayments due to the pandemic. Now, private lenders, including Sofi, are now pressing the government to lift off this freezing of the student loan repayments, because they think it's now overdue, as it is getting to almost 3 years. Now, Sofi Technologies already indicated that this freezing of the student loan repayments are already going to affect Sofi Technologies in the Q1 of 2022 by around $20 to $25 million. So in their earnings, there is already going to be a serious impact from this freezing of this loan repayment. So this has been affecting the Sofi Technologies stocks together with other private companies throughout this whole time. They've been sort of like losing revenue by just this. So this is why they are wanting to put a stop to this and wanting the government to probably allow then the student repayment loans to continue, which is something that I think, I mean, you can see that already it's affecting, or it's reducing the total revenues of Sofi by 20 to 25. I believe that with the resumption of this, it will definitely increase the total revenues that Sofi Technologies can generate, which is something that is truly amazing. And now this just simply means that all those revenues that Sofi was reporting, they were a bit short, or they could have done more had it not been this student loan freezing repayments. Now with this, if Sofi and other private lending companies can get the government to lift off the freezing and start I'll make sure that those people that own this student loan, they pay them, or they start paying them back. It is going to seriously boost the revenues of Sofi Technologies. As you can see, that $20 to $25 million is a lot of money, because even if the government does not lift off this freeze on the student loan repayments, one way or the other, the time they do, we are going to see Sofi Technologies reporting or generating much more revenue, which is something that has to motivate you and me to probably go in and consider looking into Sofi Technologies, because it looks like there is more revenues that can come when this loan repayment freezing is lifted off. Now, there's a lot that I've discussed with you about Sofi Technologies as to why is it a good long-term stock. I mean, with their acquisitions, and now knowing that these student loan repayments, once the freezing is lifted off, we can expect Sofi to generate more revenues. This is good news to investors to say that actually Sofi, from now on, we can, if this student loan freezing gets lifted up by around May, we can expect Sofi to start generating more revenues. And already you know that the membership growth is also increasing, which just simply means that also from that Sofi is able to generate some more revenues. Now, all that I'm telling you are good things onto Sofi Technologies, and has to encourage you to probably load the boat onto Sofi Technologies. And with acquisition like Technisys, which I've already explained what it does, as you already know by now that it increases, or it will increase Sofi's revenue by around 800 million in the next coming 3 years. It's another thing that will make Sofi to be able to do very well. And with the banking chatter, of course, the main thing that will make Sofi Technologies to expand and get to attract so many consumers in the US is something that, like I said, it's just a lot, or this company just has a lot of fundamentals that will make it or propel it to flourish in the years to come, which is something that, like I always say, it must motivate you to probably load the boat or stay long onto this Sofi Technology stock, because this is a stock which will do very well. And the fact that insiders are buying this stock, it has to encourage you and me to probably do the same onto Sofi Technologies, because, like I said, there are some things that insiders, or is known by insiders, which the people outside, investors or retail investors like me and you, still don't know. There is a lot that is still gonna happen into Sofi Technologies, which will boost their share price, boost their revenues, and get them to quickly get to profitability, which is something that I believe it is the main reason why you should take these insiders loading, or seeing that insiders loading the boat on their company is something that we should take it very seriously and probably do the same. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I make tons and tons of stock market investing videos, and if you think that this video was amazing, please don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that YouTube can notify you every time I release a video. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And before you load the boat onto Sofi Technology stock, please do make sure that you do your own due diligence, so that at least you can be comfortable when you are investing into this stock. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.